So continuing on with my Archon quest thingy and just checking up if my audio is coming or not because you know last time. Basically don't want that to repeat. So yeah. Besides that, welcome back to the stream and yeah, as the title of the video suggests, today I'm doing the
Think we can
continuing
run
with
some
the
tests?
Sumeru Archon quest because it's still left. I didn't get time to do it. I had two midterms this week, and yeah, I don't know what else. So let's see. Um, where am I? Hmm?
I have.
Okay, so last time in the Sumeru Archon quest, not in the last stream, we essentially completed the whole port rendezvous, and we found that weird memory bank thingy. So yeah, now
Is service
essentially
already out? Oh,
we are back to the city.
okay. Just one last experiment. And then we can get some rest. Last one. I promise.
Yes, Ukras, you don't. That doesn't sound convincing. Let's see.
Here we are. It's also fairly close to where I've been staying.
Okay.
It looks really nice.
Not at all. Just tell me more about your adventures when you next get the chance.
That's
Okay.
Paimon's specialty. Paimon can tell you stories next time.
About our
Oh, if you don't mind,
plans?
how about we all walk around together tomorrow?
Yeah, that
All of my
works.
friends will be working the festival, and Dia's still insisting on her covert protection.
Oh,
Yeah. It'll be pretty hard to relax and enjoy the festival if Dia's constantly hovering over you, right?
I'll
Then
keep you
let's meet at
company.
the nearby bazaar first thing tomorrow morning. Have a great night.
Good
That's
night.
a deal. Good night, Dunyarzad.
I may be too excited to fall asleep tonight. See you
Please
tomorrow.
fall asleep. Given your health, you should get a proper rest.
Paimon's starting to really look forward to the Sub-Zero festival too. Will there be lots of yummy food?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, Paimon is going for that only.
Oh, no. Thinking about food is just gonna keep Paimon up all night. The earlier we sleep, the better. Let's go inside, traveler.
Okay. And the next day,
Did we oversleep?
seems like it. Okay, this room is actually not bad. Oh, they're using woven plates. Okay.
We should go meet Dunyarzad right away.
Okay. Huh. Wait. You don't have a door? Oh, you do have a door. You know, I'm just trying something because of an old habit. Okay, this doesn't break. Cool. In usual RPGs, mostly, those pots they break and you get stuff out of those.
Traveler, Paimon, I've been waiting for you two.
Okay.
Good morning, Dunyarzad. We must have overslept a little bit.
Not at all. I arrived early.
You should take a rest, lady. We know your health is bad. It's very poor, sorry.
Today is finally here. I must cherish every moment as if it were gold.
Okay.
You've worked so hard for this day. You gotta enjoy it to the fullest.
You know it. Oh, it's just that, as expected, I had some trouble falling asleep last night. I'm hoping my body won't be too much of an issue today.
Okay, now we need to escort her.
Well, shall we?
Sure.
Many vendors came out of the blue to support the event, and they insisted on covering costs themselves. Let's go give them some business.
Okay.
They pay for everything out of pocket? Oh, sounds like they're not in this just for the Mora.
They all said that contributing to a lively festival atmosphere is more important than money. Especially since we don't often get to celebrate Lesser Lord Kusanali's birthday.
Ooh, they're selling food over that way. Let's go.
Take a
This
look.
is a stall offering foods from the Haftmewa feast.
Okay.
Oh, you could tell straight away. I thought most people nowadays wouldn't know.
Mushrooms, flowers, and all kind of fruit? It's all vegetarian stuff. Oh, Paimon's a little disappointed.
Why?
So, what's the Haftmewa feast you mentioned just now?
It's
Huh?
another Sub-Zero's festival tradition. People used to set their tables with 7 different foods.
Oh.
Generally speaking, the most common selections were foods like Rukashava mushrooms, Nilopala lotuses, Sumeru roses, Sunsetias, Kapalatas, Hara fruits, and Zaytun peaches.
You know a lot, Dunya says.
So, the Sub-Zero festival is a vegetarian holiday?
Seems like it.
You don't have to be a vegetarian to enjoy the spread. We just use the 7 foods to symbolize the 7 virtues of the Dendro Archon.
And they're vegetarian, so go green.
Wait, but if that's the case, if Sumeru uses vegetarian food to represent the Dendro Archon, then wouldn't the Pyro Archon's festival be full of food like roasted fowl, juicy meatballs, grilled steak?
Lol. Okay, now we have to go for Pyro. Archon's festival.
Oh, Traveler, we have to go to Natlan as soon as possible.
I hope your wish comes true one day, Paimon.
Thanks. All right, how about we also check out some of these other stalls?
Dear customers, would you like to try your hand at alchemical divination?
Sure.
What's alchemical divination? Those two things sound like they'd be fun to try together.
Right? I thought the same when I first heard about it. It is said to be a mysterious craft invented by none other than Lesser Lord Kusanali herself.
Wait, what? She did something for real in the story?
So, how does it work?
It's quite simple. After you give me any 2 alchemical reagents, I'll use them to perform a random transmutation.
Okay.
Sure sounds random. So random that it will probably fail.
Definitely.
That is precisely what we need. After the transmutation fails, your one and only diviner here will interpret the remnants.
Sounds too random.
Well, according to Lesser Lord Kusanali, everything is interconnected, and all that occurs can be traced back to fate. You could say this is a pearl of old wisdom.
Yeah. I'm not wasting my materials on this.
Why does everything sound so much more credible when Dunyarzad says it? Are you guys working together?
Seems like it.
So that's the true wisdom behind it. This young lady sure knows her stuff. So, how about it? Want to give it a try?
Okay, under so much pressure, I have to. Let's see. Let us see. Let's give this guy something that I have a lot. Something that symbolizes what I want to do. So, butterfly for freedom and um, it is so difficult to select some good stuff. And for bright future luminescent spine.
Okay, one moment. It's the moon.
What?
Paimon wants to take a look too. Is it? It looks more like a pie that Paimon bit into.
Okay, why do I feel like these dialogues are scripted?
Generally speaking, the moon signifies. It means. Wait a moment.
Okay,
Is he really looking it up in a book?
seems like it.
Oh, I remember now. It means illusions and lies.
So much for wasting two important materials.
Illusions and lies? That sounds rather ominous.
Yes, but this book says that if you trust your intuition and overcome your fears, the sun will surely rise.
Okay,
He's not even trying to hide his book anymore.
yep.
Naturally, fate will only ever show you the beginning of a journey. It is up to you to forge your own ending.
Dunyaza, don't make
Thank
everything
you
so
so much.
convincing.
I'll keep that in mind.
Oh, it's nothing. I'm just learning as I go.
Yeah, we can see. Actually, you're learning a lot and looking up a lot.
Guess that was still pretty interesting. Okay, on to the next stall.
Okay.
They say the Sub-Zerus festival was very lively a long, long time ago. Large flower carriages used to parade through the city. As they headed towards Port Ormos, people would throw flowers, candy, and liquor all along the way.
Okay.
Dunyarzad's eyes are sparkling right now.
I wish I could have seen that spectacle. But if you ask me, I'm sure Nilu's dance of Sub-Zerus will be just as impressive.
Sounds interesting. Okay.
Attention! Soldiers, fall into formation if you want any Yalda candies.
I'll be pretty honest, it seems like they took a base character design and just added these two. Okay, back to the quest. Huh.
It's a weird guy with a weird hat.
With a weird set of children lining up in a weird formation.
Hey, it's Dunyarzad! Wow!
Doesn't this guy remind you of Xiangling a lot?
Miss Dunyarzad, the children love you even more than the Yalda candies. In the few short days it took to prepare for the Sub-Zerus festival, the children have all grown very fond of you.
Seems like it.
The Hallowed Knight of Flowers. It's an honor that you know my name.
Attention! In the name of Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, I commend you on your contributions to the glorious All right, little soldiers. Take your Yalda candies and don't forget your loyalty to Lesser Lord Kusanali. Dismissed!
I don't know why, whenever I'm looking at this guy, I'm reminded of Xiangling again and again.
Yes, Knight Ferris! Just what is going on here?
I don't know.
Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, is another Sub-Zerus festival icon, and one immensely popular with children. In the past, the actor portraying Ferris would also sit on a flower carriage.
Oh, okay.
It's all thanks to Miss Dunyarzad's sponsorship that the children can make such wonderful memories today.
As are we to you, Vihar.
Oh, not at all. Oh, speaking of tradition, do you want some Yalda candies? They're a festival staple, and I happen to have some boxes readied here. Take a look and pick whichever one you want.
Sure, I think she will like it.
Whichever one. Don't these boxes all look the same?
That is the fun part. Each box contains a random flavor. It's up to the luck of the draw. Flavors include lavender melon, hara fruit, sunsetia,
Ooh, those all sound pretty good.
and there's also lizard tail and oni kabuto.
Yeah, my expectations just went rock bottom. Okay,
Huh? What's up with those two flavors?
unlucky.
Oni Kabuto is a little spicier than Lizard Tail.
Why am I reminded of that candies in Hogwarts?
Dunyarzad, you tried them before? Traveler, help Paimon pick one. Paimon wants the Sunsetia flavor.
Don't really
It's
fight.
alright. Paimon believes in you.
Yeah, no pressure, right?
I also believe in your intuition.
Oh, wow. No pressure.
Great. These boxes of candy are numbered 1 to 5 from left to right. Which one do you want?
Okay. Okay. So this guy's left or my left. Okay, assuming characters left, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the thing is, the 2 box is already pretty suspicious, and Sensatia is common as compared to the other 2 ingredients and all the other ingredients. So I will go for 5. Okay, let's just go with the blue. I don't know. I have a feeling it would be interesting to see. What? Okay. These boxes are numbered weirdly. Huh? 1. Finally. Okay.
Attention! That's unfortunately Lizard Tail.
Ouch.
Paimon thought you survived so many epic battles because you had incredible luck. But looks like Paimon was wrong.
It was skills. Paimon skills.
The Sunsetia flavored candy was in box number 4. How about this? The most important thing is that everyone has a good time at the festival. So please, take both boxes.
Okay.
Really? Thanks a lot, Knight of Candies.
It's Night of Flowers, not Night of Candies.
Paimon really wilted the carriageless Knight of Flowers.
Ouch.
They basically sound the same. We got our candy, so let's keep going.
Oh, actually, I just remembered that I left something behind. Since you're here, can you come with me to get it?
Sure.
Dunyarzad, you probably forgot because you're so excited about the Sub-Zero's festival.
How embarrassing.
Yep, she definitely forgot because of that. So, let's see. Finally, I can run.
We're too late. Who knew the little lady was such an early riser?
I know,
Wow.
right? Hey, wait a minute. Boss, isn't that her?
Some guys are gonna get in a pretty bad situation.
Oh, that most certainly is. We're in luck. She's walking right into our clutches.
Time to show why Traveler is Traveler.
Those Eremites don't look like they're up to any good.
Who are you? I don't believe the Homayanis hired you.
That's right. We haven't received any of their mora, but I wonder how much the Humayanis would shell out to get you back.
They're a gang of kidnappers! Traveler, hurry and protect Dunyarzad!
Professional
Hey,
here.
Did you scumbags even consider that the Homayanis might have hired a merc that outclasses you?
That's true.
You're Dia. Dia the Flame Maid. No wonder we mercs haven't heard anything about you for so long. You sold your unruly mane to the highest bidder.
Don't speak so disrespectfully. My family started working with her as gratitude for her past kindness to us.
Don't worry about it, my lady. Just some friendly banter between mercs. One punch and those rabid dogs will expose themselves for what they really are.
Aren't your claws all dull by now? Don't get too cocky!
Finally a fight.
Traveler, take Miss Dunyarzad to a safe...
No! We're gonna stay and help! There's too many of them!
Please be careful, Dia.
Don't waste your time worrying about me. This is my job. Look out for yourself. After I've wiped the floor with it.
Okay. Thought we were gonna fight. Okay, let's see. Seriously telling me I have 60 seconds to get to this point. Ouch.
Dunyarzad, are you okay? You
We,
look a little pale.
we
Are
can
you
carry you.
stuck?
We can carry you,
Yeah,
essentially.
I'm fine. My body always reacts like this whenever I exert myself.
You sure you're okay?
I'll be fine after some rest. I'm more worried about Dia. After all, none of this would have happened if I hadn't insisted on coming out today.
Yeah, don't worry.
My lady,
Okay.
traveler, found ya.
Dia! You took care of them so fast.
Any more of them? Or rather, did anyone follow you?
No.
Dia, your arm.
Uh-oh.
Oh, this? I'm fine. It's just a scratch. Normally, they wouldn't have been able to land a hit on me at all, but I'm still getting used to this new greatsword.
Please, let me take a closer look.
Come on, it's nothing. Us mercs aren't as fragile as you think.
Why is she panting a lot? Is it poison?
Hold on, you said something about a new greatsword. What happened to the one you were using before?
About that. Well, I sold it, because I was low on Mora. Stuff like this happens every now.
It can't be. The anonymous donation that was used for the venue's final round of preparations?
Hey, Miss Dunyarzad, I wasn't trying to make you cry, and I'm not gonna lose my commission because I made my employer cry, am I?
Okay, making your employer cry won't affect your commission, but selling your weapon without permission and getting hurt? I'll have to reevaluate your performance.
You're so unreasonable, my lady.
Ouch.
Thank you very much, Dia.
Don't be like that. I get embarrassed really easily.
Are you feeling unwell again, Dunyarzad?
My lady, your condition. Traveler, can you take her somewhere to rest? I'll look around the area and
Leave it to me.
I'm...
Oh.
Are you feeling better, Dunyarzad?
Yes, much better. Just give me a few moments and I'll be good to go.
Yeah, her expression
I
changed.
didn't realize you were concerned about it. I guess I shouldn't continue to keep it a secret.
Okay.
I was actually born with Elazar. It's terminal now.
Elsa.
Can't believe it's Elazar.
Oh, you've already heard of Elazar.
Yep.
In that case, you probably know about its severity.
Okay, seems like we have to find something.
Sumeru's current medical advancements still haven't been able to find a cure. The disease's progression can only be delayed through environmental therapy.
Okay.
Dunyarzad.
There's no need to be sad. I've always lived with Elazar and I came to terms with it a long time ago, compared to the simple fact that I'm afflicted with this. Its effects on my life have been much more painful.
Ouch.
I know that my family loves me dearly. They've done all they can to provide the best environment for me, so that I can live for that much longer. However, I know I will one day succumb to this.
Ouch. Okay, that's sad.
Did you know? Before I ran away from home this time, the world outside of my home didn't even know that I existed. Since I was a child, all I could do was sit on my bed and stare at everything outside of my window. I'm sure my family's worried and disappointed in me for running away, but I just didn't want to have any regrets.
Okay, this is seriously more emotional than I thought.
I wanted to meet other people. To me, there's nothing more beautiful than being able to meet and speak with others. Not to mention the incredible time spent preparing for the festival. The joy on everyone's faces here, and all the support I've received from friends like Dia. This way, when my final day does arrive, it will be less sorrowful.
It's inspiring and sad at the same time. I guess we have to find some cure now.
At the very least, many people will remember that I once existed in this world, right?
As long as you don't forget forget Paimon, Paimon also won't forget about you. No, even if you forget Paimon, Paimon will still remember you.
Okay, this is a bit emotional.
Thank you two so much. I apologize for the depressing conversation.
Seriously, this background is making
This
it
is
more
out of
sad.
character for me. To be honest, Lesser Lord Kusanali gave me the courage to do all of this. If it weren't for her encouragement, I wouldn't have taken that first step. Thanks. There will always be frustrations in life, but I know that the point of living is not to leave behind any regrets.
What a wonderful mindset.
Oh, right. Isn't it almost time?
Yeah, let us carry you this time.
Almost.
Isn't the Dance of Sub-Zeros about to begin? It's the part of the festival that I've been looking forward to the most. Nilu will recreate that legendary scene with her most splendid dancing. And the Sub-Zeros festival will conclude amid everyone's applause and blessing. And with that, my wish will also...
Wish?
Then what are we waiting for? Let's go to the stage.
What wish?
Yeah, we should still make it in time.
Guys, are we not focusing on the fact that she just said something about a wish? And it sounds pretty ominous. Is it? Oh,
Ad Astra Abyss.
okay, this works normally. This is good to know. I thought there might be some functional differences. Let's go to the bazaar. Okay, time for a cutscene.
Were you not aware that the law prohibits this type of performance from taking place without prior permission?
Uh-oh.
Over there, someone's yelling at Nilu.
I think I just saw the Academia's Grand Sage. Why is he here in person?
But the Dance of Sub-Zeros is one of the key parts of the Sub-Zeros Festival. If we can't perform it...
The Sub-Zeros Festival. The law also prohibits the private hosting of large-scale religious festivals. Only the Academia can host such an event.
Okay, that's autocratic.
If you continue to resist, we will have to order an investigation into every single event organizer. The Grand Sage has already granted you much leniency. I advise that you exercise tact.
How did things turn out like...
The Academia was originally responsible for the Sub-Zeros Festival, but they failed this responsibility for many years. I need to speak with them. This is a hard pill to swallow, but you're right. Things would only get worse.
Art, dance. Aren't you ashamed of pursuing such frivolous and meaningless activities in this land of knowledge and reason?
Okay, this guy is gonna die. I mean, I can't do art. I don't know. Some issue with probably my logical part of the brain. But yeah, at least I can appreciate it.
Our Archon created the utopia that is Sumeru City for all scholars who sought validity, verity, and truth, while people like you wish to defile it.
Actually, practically all the things that you do require creativity and art.
No. I believe that our Archon never rejected the arts. Even the goddess of flowers dedicated a dance to her.
With your lack of intellectual credentials, I do not believe you are qualified to debate with me.
Oh,
What you should be doing is finding workers to tear down this ridiculous eyesore. When we return, have the scribe draft an ordinance before the next Nyargarbaha Day that prohibits public art performances. We will announce it to the public later via the Akasha.
Understood. I will inform him when I
The Sub-Zeros Festival. Go celebrate the birth of that god to your heart's content.
okay, that's sad. I'll probably have killed that guy.
Nilu, are you okay?
Oh, Dunyarzad. You all saw that just now? The Grand Sage ordered us to stop the performance.
Yeah.
Let's go somewhere the Academia can't find us and perform there. But how do we let everyone know? And what about the atmosphere and the stage?
You have, you have doors in the bazaar. You can just lock them.
Or we could get people to block them off so they can't interrupt the performance. No. They just threatened to investigate the organizers. If we were caught...
There's a traveler here who is not affiliated. He can do it.
Nilu, it's alright. Don't worry about it.
But you've been looking forward to the Dance of Sub-Zero so much. And I know how important this festival is to you. I don't want you to have any regrets.
Ouch, okay. Now this is some big issue.
It's okay. Seeing you care this much about my feelings is it would be too risky to continue the Sub-Zero's festival at this point. I don't want to get everyone in trouble.
If you say so. But you can sneak out for the next Sub-Zero's festival, right?
No,
We'll
because
make sure the next one is a smashing success.
from the looks of it, she's not gonna last that long.
The next one. Yes. Okay. It's a promise. It will be a smash.
Ouch.
I can't believe this is how things turned out.
Is there anything...
Heartless geezers.
Should we try and
It
think
really
another
is
way?
okay. There's nothing we can do about it. Still, I'd be lying if I said I had no regrets. I would have loved to see Nilu's dance.
Ouch.
A lot happened today. It's a shame the festival ended the way Nilu and Dunyarzad promised to make the next Sub-Zero's festival a success. But Dunyarzad is running out of time. Yeah.
All connections have been secured to construct the most stable framework possible. The project has entered its most critical phase. Power has begun to flow from...
What? Just happened.
Oh, we're gonna be late! It's all because you wouldn't get out of bed!
Huh?
We should go meet Dunyarzad right away!
Yeah. Regarding that, I forgot actually. Where is she? Come on, there's got to be something we can do.
Good morning, Dunyarzad. Sorry we're late.
Not at all. I arrived early.
You seem kinda tired. Did you not get enough sleep?
I'm doing well. There's no need to worry. Shall we go? Let's start with the stalls over there.
There's something wrong.
Sure. Traveler? Why are you just standing there? Let's get go- Ooh, they're selling food over that way. Let's go take a look.
Same stall?
This is a stall offering foods from the Haftmewa feast.
Yeah, we have been here.
You are quite well informed, miss.
They're all plants. Actually, what is the Haftmewa?
It's one of the Sub-Zero's festival's traditions.
Wait, what?
People used to set their tables with 7 different foods to symbolize the 7 virtues of the Dendro Archon.
Wait, deja vu?
Appear to be in the...
Really? Paimon thought it looked like some kind of food.
Wait, don't tell me he went back in time. Am I in a loop?
The moon signifies... It's escaping me for now.
Is he really looking it up?
Oh, Right. But if you trust your intuition and overcome your fears, the sun will surely rise.
Is it deja vu?
Understood. I'll keep that in mind.
Oh, it's nothing. I'm just learning as I go.
Guess that was still pretty interesting. Okay, on to the next stall.
Yeah, same dialogues and everything. Luckily, Traveler doesn't speak much. Otherwise, continuity might have been
Where's the
affected.
next?
You know, this time let's just beat up those aramites. I've had enough of it. Okay, so this time I'm gonna get the Sunsetia candies. Because they are in number 4.
All right, soldiers. Now that you have your Yalda...
Yes, Knight Ferris!
And same
What's
dialogues.
going on?
Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, is another.
Oh, do you want some Yalda candy?
What's to pick?
It's not that...
Ooh!
And there's also lizard tail...
Ugh. What are those flavors? Traveler, help Paimon!
Great! These boxes of candy are number...
Definitely number 4.
Ah, excellently chosen. Number 4 is indeed Sunsetia.
Yeah, now I'm gonna have a major headache.
Paimon bet you had incredible luck, and Paimon was right!
Yeah, that's not luck.
How's that possible? It's obviously random. Maybe we didn't sleep very well last night. Or maybe we slept too much.
Nope. I'm sorry, but I need to leave for a moment.
Sure.
Let's beat up some Aramites and Academia people.
Huh? Where are you going?
All this time living in the city.
A feeling of deja vu?
Yep.
Oh, Paimon knows what that is. It's when you feel like you've already experienced whatever is going on.
That's why I'm using those words, Paimon. I know the meaning.
In that case, Paimon also felt something like that today. But that's just our brains playing tricks on us, isn't it?
Nope.
So why'd you run here in such a hurry?
I want to do something.
So that's it. You're intentionally doing things you usually wouldn't and seeing if you still get that same feeling of deja vu.
Welcome, you two. Are you here for lunch? What would you like to eat?
One coconut charcoal cake.
Got it. You don't look like you're from these parts, but I gotta say, you got good.
Coconut charcoal cake? Isn't it that burnt thing that didn't look tasty at all?
Yep.
Oh, Paimon understands what you're trying to do now.
I would never do
You'd never
something like that.
normally order something like this. That thing? Are you really gonna eat it?
Nope. But I think I have to.
Isn't this going a bit too far?
Here goes nothing.
How was it? The look on your face is telling Paimon that it tasted awful.
No, it actually tasted really good.
You mean
I've definitely eaten this before.
possible? We were just talking about how gross it looked. So, would this be a case of taste bud deja vu?
Looks like I've tried this before.
Also gets the impression that we've been here many times, even though we are regulars.
Someone is giving us some major information enhancement or something.
How about we go out again and try something else?
Let's try saving the Sub-Zero festival. Okay. Where's the exit? Oh yeah, what's on the menu, bro? Oh, okay. I wasn't aware. Mhm. Just buying all the dishes because I need to spend 500,000 mora. And those who don't know the reason, just look up the weekly tasks. Flour, sausage, bacon. They have a lot of stuff here. Star mushroom and this. Huh. Let's see.
Hey, Dinyarzad is sitting by herself on that bench over there. What a coincidence, Dinyarzad. We meet again. Why are you sitting here all by...
Oh, I ran into some kidnappers just now.
Deja vu.
Thankfully, Dia came to my rescue. I started to feel unwell after that, so I sat down here.
Kidnappers? Oh my goodness, are you hurt?
I'm okay. Dia's arm got scratched, but...
Whew, that's a big relief. But, Dunyarzad, you seem a little down today. It's the Sub-Zero's festival, and you've been looking forward...
Not at all. I've
Yeah,
always
now
been
she's
like
gonna
this. Excessive physical
experience.
exertion or strong emotions tend to aggravate my illness.
And we are gonna have the issue of Sub-Zero festival getting cancelled.
Besides, no matter how amazing today may be, it is but a single day. After however many more days, my time will come to an end.
Paimon doesn't quite follow you, and Paimon feels like something's really got you down right now.
Yeah.
It really is fine. I don't mind.
I just experienced a number of strange events.
Huh? Did something happen?
Yep.
Dunyarzad, have you ever felt deja vu? You know, like when you've already experienced something that's happening right now?
Deja vu? No. But my days have been the same for years now. Even if I were feeling deja vu, I suppose I would already be used to it.
Oh, Paimon sees. Then, is it only the two of us?
Maybe.
It's almost time.
Huh? Time for what?
Nilou's Dance of Sub-Zeros is about to begin. Let's go.
Okay, this is gonna be sad. I have to go through those same dialogues again. Yep.
With your lack of intellectual credentials, I do not believe you are qualified. When we return, have the scribe draft an ordinance before the next Nyargarbaha Day that prohibits public art performance.
Understood. I will inform him when I...
The Sub-Zero's festival. Go celebrate the birth of that god to your heart's content.
I still want to kill this guy. Ah.
Nilou, are you okay?
Oh, Dunyarzad. The Grand Sage ordered us to stop the performance.
It's okay. There's nothing we can do.
But you've been really looking forward to this. I don't want you to have any...
It truly is unfortunate, but I don't want to cause trouble for anyone. Didn't the Grand Sage say that he might investigate the organizers?
True, but... Well, okay. I'll just have to try again next year.
The next festival. I probably won't be around by then.
Okay, this time the dialogues are different.
Wait, what did you...
No, nothing. I'll be heading back to rest. Thank you for your help, everyone.
Last time she was showing a happy side. Now she's sad.
Paimon can't believe what those heartless geezers did!
Deja vu.
Did Dunyarzad already go back?
Okay, day 3. And for some reason...
So, in the end, you still couldn't figure out what that deja vu feeling was all about?
Yep.
Maybe it really was because of exhaustion. Same here. That's why Paimon stopped thinking about it halfway through the day.
Paimon, focus.
How about we settle in and get a good night's sleep? For now, we can chalk things up to exhaustion. We can do more thinking tomorrow.
This is interesting. We should look up for that.
Observing a modest drop in the output of jnana energy, but values still remain within normal parameters.
Okay.
Continue to monitor the variances in the data and find the cause.
Day number 3, same events. I'm pretty sure same
Why
events.
does Paimon feel so tired after so much sleep? Anyway, we should...
Please don't tell me I'm gonna have a number of deja vus. Until I figure out the story, that is.
Good morning, Dunyarzad. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Not at all. I arrived early.
You seem worse.
Huh? Paimon thinks you sound kinda tired. Did you not get enough sleep?
I'm doing well. There's no need to worry. Shall we go? Let's start with the stalls over there.
Great idea. Let's get going. Traveler?
Come on. Come on, realize. What a strong sense of deja vu. Come on, realize you are living this day again.
It's all thanks to Miss Dunyarzad's sponsorship that the children can enjoy the sub. Oh, are you interested in It's not that simple.
Yeah.
Each box contains a random flavor.
Fourth
It's up to the luck of the
box,
draw.
we know.
Flavors include lavender. And there's also lizard tail and
He'll help me.
No problem. These boxes of candy are numbered 1 to 5 from left to right. Which one do you want?
Okay, this is crazy. All the numbers have been changed to number 4.
Oh, I like your confidence. No hesitation at all. Oh, congratulations! Number 4 is indeed Sunsetia.
Uh-oh. Finally.
Paimon knew he always had incredible luck.
Number 1 is lizard tail.
Paimon's not really...
Wait. How did you know? Don't tell me that you already knew which flavor would...
What? He was right about all of them?
Yep.
That couldn't have been luck. How is this possible? I packed all those boxes this morning and they've been sealed ever since. You couldn't have known beforehand.
This
Mind
is...
reading? X-ray vision? Or some kind of magic trick? This is way too...
Tell us what's going on. Since when did you get superpowers?
He has superpowers. Oh, someone was there. I couldn't see her.
Where are you going?
I'll have to watch my own streams.
What's going on? Did you see something?
Yep.
Us leaving Dunyarzad without letting her know is kinda rude,
Yeah, Kusanali. Is she sad because her birthday is not celebrated? Or it's probably got something to do with the experiment. Don't tell me we're trapped in the Akasha system or something.
What are you looking for? Why did we come here? Traveler?
There she is. Over there.
That's...
Okay, the bird is missing. What's happening? Kusanali?
Look! That's... Isn't that Dunyarzad?
Yep.
What's happening here? Why are there two Dunyarzads?
One is the real one.
You already know that this isn't your first Sub-Zero's festival, don't you?
Yep.
I'm sure you already know how to use this.
Yep.
Knowledge capsule? Where did you get it? What's inside? You should use it too, Paimon. You know Paimon?
Yep. Let's use it.
Well, this seems kinda sketchy, but Paimon feels like this is what we should do.
Wow.
What the?
So many days.
20th time at the Sub-Zero's festival? Huh? No. The 30th? 40th? Just how many times have we been to the Sub-Zero's festival? Have we been trapped in a single day?
Yep.
If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have even realized.
Thank you, Lesser Lord Kusanali.
What the heck was inside that knowledge capsule? Your memories are still scrambled? Try your best to remember. This isn't the first time we've met, and I answered that question a long time ago. Let Paimon think. Oh, it's coming back. Meeting you was the real catalyst for restoring our memories, and the knowledge capsule was just your means of showing our minds the way.
Yep.
What about everyone else? Why are you only helping the two of us?
That might also be answered.
Your sense of deja vu is stronger than everyone else's, yes? As for an explanation, you two received the blessing of Dendro, and you also have special, sensitive constitutions.
Yep.
It was as if a single sheet of paper was separating those memories from your consciousness.
What's wrong with...
A familiar question. I think this is the 7th time you asked that.
Uh-oh.
As you can see, she isn't doing well. You probably sensed it too. The Dunyarzad you were just with is different from the first Dunyarzad you met. That first Dunyarzad is in front of you right now, and she doesn't have a lot of time left.
How can we break out of the cycle?
Looks like you're almost done sorting out your brain. Oh yeah, I'm Nahida.
Why do I have a feeling she is not... Okay, whatever.
Good. You passed the test. What's happening? You can awaken our memories, and you seem like you know what's going on. Oh, wait. Please don't tell Paimon even Everything in this world runs in a loop. This cycle is called a samsara. You, me, and everyone else are all stuck inside a one-day samsara.
Infinite Tsukiyomi.
As for the truth, that's on you to find out. If you were told the truth instead of discovering it yourselves, it would literally blow your minds. I don't know how you'd be after that. I
Yep.
can only give you surface-level help, like bits of information and subtle hints. For the rest of the time, I'll be doing all I can to slow down Dunyarzad's illness. She looks like she isn't doing well at all. Her illness gets worse after each Sub-Zero's. If we can break out of the samsara, I might be able to save her.
Okay.
But as things are right now, she's just a small bird in the sky that's about to lose its last feathers. All I can do is raise a gale to delay her fall. You sure love to use weird analogies.
What do we need to do? Just tell us.
Analogies are wonderful tools. They let you use existing knowledge to understand unfamiliar things. Okay, so, with what you know so far, what do you think the truth is?
Let's see. Contemplation. Okay, choose any context. Interpret. Some text entries associated with one. Okay. Current. Abnormal mental fatigue.
My mind feels exhausted, even though I haven't done too much thinking. What is... What's happening right now seems to have happened before. This feeling has been getting stronger and stronger. The moon, illusions, and lies. What did they all... The moon... The Grand Sage said, "Go celebrate the birth of that god to your heart's content."
This one.
We've already experienced the Sub-Zeru's festival many times, and the day of the festival seems to be in a perpetual samsara.
Yep. Associate.
That should be it. The flow of time is endlessly cycling within one single day.
Okay.
We've already... The Grand Sage... My mind... What's happening right... The moon... That should be it.
A time loop. You've given similarly wrong answers in the past. Still the wrong answer? Paimon thought that made a lot of sense. It feels like time's just repeating itself.
No.
A simple time loop can't explain some of the phenomena. You two are still missing a lot of information.
Time loop won't explain
Unfortunately, I can't give you any
Dunyarzad's
more
exhaustion.
hints. Dunyarzad! The Sub-Zero's festival is happening every day, but that doesn't mean we can waste an infinite amount of them. Hurry.
Did I just mess up?
Let's think about our current situation. To save Dunyarzad, and to do that, we need to figure out what's happening. Nahida rejected the idea of a time loop, so Paimon's memories say that we've already done this many times, but let's go talk to people again. It's more productive than sitting here and scratching.
Okay, I have a feeling this is not gonna work out. Please don't tell me I have to do one more time loop. Time loops are cool as long as you are not the one who is stuck in it. Okay, come on.
Hey there!
Hey, it's you guys again. I see. Did you come back to buy something? I guarantee the freshness of my products. Huh? What brought this about? I hurried back from the forest yesterday, and I'm selling produce here today.
To put it another way, if you really think about it, was yesterday truly yesterday? Did you actually come back from the forest yesterday?
What kind of philosophical nonsense is this? Hey, didn't you know that no one dreams in Sumeru? Go somewhere else if you want to find someone to daydream with.
Okay, now that is a good one.
He actually has a point.
Remember what he just said now? No one.
True. It's so weird that people here don't dream. Anyway, if this all really were just a dream, we would have woken up a long time ago.
No. You have a Akasha system connected to you.
Oh, it's you two. Was my divination so accurate that you felt compelled to compliment me in person? Ooh, I knew it! I told you, the god's divination is highly accurate. You just hadn't fully understood its significance yet.
You're really excited about this, huh? That's exactly why we came back. Help us better
Help you better understand it? Well, that isn't exactly...
So, you're admitting that you don't have a clue?
Anyway, what kind of situation did you get into?
Ah.
Huh? Hold on a second. I thought you guys just lost your wallet or fell for a scam. What you just said, are you serious? Does that kind of thing actually happen?
I knew you weren't going to believe it.
Marvelous. True.
When you say it like that, the divination does sound like it's related to what's going on. Can you read any more ink?
I believe that the Archon's revelations are never more than vague hints. Anything more specific is beyond the reach of mere mortals.
Okay.
The book only says, if you trust your instincts and overcome your fears, the sun will surely rise.
Huh.
So that's how
So, my instincts tell me...
fortune-telling is just fortune-telling. It's no good for practical problems.
Wait, my instincts are telling me I should kill that grand teacher or whatever of academia. Will it help?
We haven't made any progress. Who else can we talk to?
Let's try.
Paimon remembers that we tried talking to her a couple of times, but she always thinks we're playing pranks on her. You think she'll brush us off again?
She cares a lot.
If we tap into Dia's strong sense of responsibility as a mercenary, then she'll definitely take us seriously. At this time of day, Dia's probably just
Okay, let's go. Actually, we should bring some bandages as well, but... whatever.
I'm fine, my lady.
Perfect timing. Both of you are...
Paimon, Traveler. You came at just the right time. Listen, there was a dangerous
You just defeated a gang
Huh?
of...
You saw? Then why didn't you jump in earlier?
We don't know.
If someone was protecting Miss Dunyarzad, I could have went all out. Anyway, can you do something for...
You want the Traveler to take Dunyarzad somewhere to rest up while you check to see if there's still any kidnappers around. Did Paimon get that right?
How did you know what I was going to say?
We did
You
it.
need to say something convincing.
People in Sumeru don't dream. What a strange phenomenon. Dia sold her greatsword to raise additional funds. And then she was injured because she wasn't used to her new weapon. The moon, illusions, and lies. My mind feels exhausted.
Tell her, Traveler.
You weren't injured because...
I didn't tell anyone about that. Including Miss Dunyarzad. You couldn't have known. And just now, you literally took the words right out of my mouth.
Alright, so this is the...
Finally. Okay, I thought I messed up the situation.
It's kinda hard to believe what you just told me. First, let me make something clear. Most of us desert dwellers might not be the scholarly type, but we do have basic common sense.
She's quieter than usual. Uninterested in anything and...
Yeah, she isn't the same as before, but her parents said that this is how she was like at first.
I don't quite understand what you're all talking about. I'll go.
She is not
My
the
lady,
real.
are you angry?
Come with me.
All right, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt since you knew about my greatsword. Let's make this a quick trip. Miss Dunyarzad isn't complete.
She is not safe anywhere. Come on. Can I teleport? Yep. This one. So time to break away from the Tsukiyomi.
Nahida, we brought a friend. Are you busy?
I thought I told you that it won't help to bring anyone here.
We just wanted her to see the real Dunyars.
The real Dunyarzad? Where and who are you talking?
Huh?
Yeah, she can't see.
I told you that you two are special. Other people can't see me or Miss Dunyarzad here.
Hold on. Over there. Is that?
You can see her?
Wow, how perceptive. Does she have invisible antennae?
Miss Dunyarzad, she's lying down here, isn't she? How's she doing?
Her condition's really bad, and she's basically in a coma. How did you know she was here?
I can sense her aura. There are also lingering feelings of something like regret or disappointment.
Sub-Zero is festival is...
What happened?
Do you believe us now? The Sub-Zero's festival has been repeating itself. So, you think the sages are behind this?
Yep.
Yeah, they've always been against us. Wouldn't surprise me if they're using the Akasha to intentionally repeat the Sub-Zero's festival as a sick...
You have a point. Aside from the Dendro Archon, the Academia's sages are the only ones in Sumeru who could pull off some... Maybe there's more to the Akasha than we know.
Neither.
Right. Didn't you awaken our memories using something that looked like a knowledge capsule? That means you must know something about the...
The Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace, and it grants knowledge to the people.
Essentially, it's a pseudo interface to allow the people to access the what was it? God's wisdom, God of wisdom's power. So essentially, you can think of it as a projection of real life in the 4-dimensional plane of data stored or stored data.
A gnosis could do that? No wonder the Akasha is so magical. It's being powered by the gnosis of Sumeru's Archon.
Yeah.
So, this Nahida you mentioned, what did she say?
She said, and Paimon quotes, the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the...
Compiles the wisdom of the entire populace and grants knowledge to the people. Wait.
Yeah.
I get the grants knowledge part. That's what people have always used the Akasha for. But compiling the entire populace's wisdom? How does that work?
Did she mean that the sages enter new knowledge into the Akasha?
Most of the information comes from...
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Think.
People in Sumeru don't dream. Okay, Nahida said the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis. My mind feels exhausted. What's happening right now? My mind...
Fatigued. Oh, wait.
That doesn't sound right.
You mean the Akasha is causing our mental fatigue? Huh. Now that I think about it, my head's been feeling unusually heavy. When the desert dwellers set off on their quest for knowledge, a sage once said, knowledge always comes at a price.
Yep.
Compiling the entire country's knowledge. You think the Akasha pulled a 180 and is extracting information from us?
Possible.
Who knows? The Akasha can put knowledge into our heads, so who's to say that it can't also poke around in there?
What's the point of doing something like that?
Just think about it. If you could combine the knowledge of every single person in Sumeru, then you can basically turn Sumeru City into a single massive brain. This hive mind could make breakthroughs in problems that even the smartest geniuses can't crack.
An excellent deduction. And the analogy comparing Sumeru City to a massive...
In that case, we should take off our Akasha terminals right away.
Uh-huh.
That'll solve this problem.
No, we are...
Yeah, I was only wearing this for show in the first place. Didn't expect the sages to cook up such a conspiracy. Mark my words. When this is over, I'm getting evidence and exposing this whole thing to the public.
It shouldn't
How does everyone
affect...
feel? Huh? What is it? Oh, that! Paimon knows what you're talking about. It's a single soft beep that sounds like it's coming from the Akasha.
The sound of a beep. Could it be a prompt tone for when the Akasha is operating?
Yep.
That's probably an important clue. We weren't using our terminals, but we heard a beep anyway. Traveler, did you hear that?
I heard it too. Our ears aren't messing with us. There was definitely a beep, but it sounded like it was coming from inside my head.
You are already in a simulation.
We took off our Akasha terminals.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Phase runtime has exceeded its expected length. At this rate, there may be casualties.
But we cannot lose all...
Okay. Now we have to mess with the system. Come on, guys. You have got to remember everything this time.
Paimon remembers everything.
Good. You adapted quickly this time.
We definitely took off our Akasha terminals last night, but we still heard that beep. Why is that?
We have been... No.
But now we can at least confirm one thing. The Akasha definitely has something to do with whatever. Oh, Paimon doesn't get it. Why would...
It's extremely difficult for lab rats in an experiment to understand why they're being treated.
If we're lab rats, then what are you? Mihita, you've never told us anything
I guess I'm the moon.
Yeah, she's never gonna answer.
The moon? Wasn't that the result of our...
Anyway, knowing who I am won't help you get closer to the truth. So you should focus on other things. Don't get distracted and miss any...
Okay then. Dia helped us a lot yesterday.
Good. Good. Good.
Ah, there you are. I've already taken care of those kidnappers. My lady, did you get hurt?
Hold on, there is something not right.
What's wrong? Why are you both gawking at me like that?
You didn't get...
Huh? What do you mean this time? Why are you so surprised that I managed to get out unscathed? Those kids were amateurs.
Are you still getting used?
How did you know about my greatsword? I haven't told anyone.
So Dia's lost her memories after all.
During your battle.
Anything strange? You already know that I got a new greatsword. If I had to say something, it's as if I've already...
You're saying that although you don't remember using it?
That's right. Both mercenaries and warriors heavily rely on muscle memory.
Traveler, what do you think?
Could it be
Everyone's feeling really hopeful.
Is it because we already broken
Oh, you're
free?
right. Earlier in the Samsara, something like this would have never happened.
I have no clue what you...
So you want us to take Dunyarzad somewhere else to rest?
How did you know what I was gonna say?
Forget it.
And after everything,
Whew. It's finally nighttime. Aside from Dia not getting injured, listen, Nahida, we found out that Dia got... Do you think the Samsara has been broken? Have we...
Really? Good job on all that progress. Get some...
Hey! What kind of an answer?
Tomorrow will come. Everyone assumes this is common knowledge, but the only way you can know that for sure is if... How many todays has it been? Is it possible that today will be followed? It's even possible that this entire world is a lie.
yeah.
The history of the whole world has just been one...
Okay, no more.
That's why it makes no sense to waste your energy thinking about things you will learn tomorrow. Get some good rest. You know, use the bathroom and...
Huh? Hold on, what?
Huh? People always say they feel a sense of relief after they take a duk-duk. That's why I suggested you could try that.
Seriously.
Strange?
Yeah, your common sense is way worse than mine.
So strange and so against common sense that...
I skipped that
For
dialogue.
words. You were sounding... Yeah. Even though it's happy and lively at the Sub-Zero's festival every day, it feels like it's been a long time since we've really gotten to...
Continue the harvest, compared to what we stand to achieve.
Sacrifices are trivial.
We're still in the same day.
As expected.
Nahida, you already knew last night that we didn't break out of the Samsara?
Would there have been a point? You would have spent the night with new worries, with tomorrow still out. In that case, you might as well rest within that brief moment of hope. An opportunity like that doesn't come by often, and I thought it might help you clear your minds.
She deserves it. Okay, whatever.
Paimon thought that Duke did that! Whatever. Guess you were looking out...
Of course. In the time we've been together, you two have been everything to me.
Paimon's flattered and everything, but maybe you're taking things a little
What I mean is, even though I had asked you to solve this puzzle, you two are still the only ones who can see me and sense my presence. In other words, if you weren't here, I may as well not exist.
Nahida's talking about confusing stuff again.
Anyway, that's enough chit-chat. So, Traveler, did the new clues yesterday help you gain a new understanding of the situation?
Huh? Why are you scrapping your previous theory?
Muscle memory.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Gosh, how did we not notice that? In a simple time loop, people's physical conditions...
So, what's...
Okay, bodily memories.
Mercenaries rely heavily on...
Associate that with information from Akasha. No. Alchemic sound.
If all our memories of a day are erased at the end of that day, then we would unwittingly...
We aren't in a time loop.
Oh, then the beep we hear every night could just be indicating. That's why when we wake up, everyone thinks the Sub-Zero's festival hasn't happened yet. It's already the next, but muscle memory can't be erased. That's why Dia...
A brilliant deduction.
Nahida, tell us if we're right or...
To put it simply, it's as if you've mistaken a pyro crystal fly for a firefly in the night. You lost sight of its true nature because you focused too much on your perception.
That isn't simple at all!
Still the wrong.
Why don't you go talk to Miss Dia again? You might...
Right! She did help us find our latest...
Please tell me there is something new this time. Because. Wait. Let's see what new information
There
do
you
we
are.
get.
Really took me a while to find you.
As expected, Dia also did.
It hurt? Why?
Well, you're still getting used.
Huh. Truth be told, I also think it's pretty strange. It just suddenly felt.
Traveler, could you explain the situation to her today? Paimon's gotten a little sick of doing it. Oh, that works.
You suddenly became proficient. We have left.
What happened to you guys while I was gone? Did you get brainwashed?
Don't think too hard about it. Just take what we're saying at face.
All right then, let me get this straight. You're telling me that my body's already gotten used to this great sword, but my brain just doesn't.
Yes, your memory's being erased.
And I'd have to disagree. That's impossible.
Oh? Why?
If we've actually been reliving the Sub-Zeru's festival day after day, then
Money
what happened to
spent.
the things we used? Common sense says my wallet should have emptied itself a long time ago. There's no way I wouldn't have noticed.
If they utilize.
Right. They could use the Akasha to record what everyone did that day, and then use. It's not very likely, but it's also not.
No, it is impossible.
You have proof?
You two are surprisingly serious about this nonsensical discussion.
Her sword
Fine,
would break.
I'll play along for. Come with me, Miss Dunyarzad. Please come along as well. I still can't guarantee that this area.
Actually, her sword's durability would go down
I
repeatedly.
can't believe it's Dia who wants to show us something this time. 2 days ago, we were the ones taking her to see Dunyarzad.
Okay.
This is it.
Huh? This is a...
See those marks on the dummy? Those are the result of several days worth of. Let's say the sages didn't replace it every day. Shouldn't it be hacked to pieces?
That's true, but what if...
Then the sages would have had to reproduce every mark I left during previous training sessions. I'm a professional fighter. My martial school has always emphasized the importance of the force, angle, and entry point of each strike is calculated and deliberate. That's why I remember every mark on the dummy, as well as my state of mind as I made. It's just as they say. Each swordsman has their own unique style, and even the same swordsman can't make the same cut twice.
Is it really impossible?
People often say that a camera's photo can never replace an artist's painting because the same thing applies here. At a mere glance, I can differentiate carved marks from the results of. Whew, I hope that cleared things up for you. Hey, is this that new brain exercise game that's been super popular with the scholars? Anyway, it's getting late. I should escort Miss Dunyarzad to Nilu's stage. See you later.
Well, back to square one. Is our memory deletion theory also wrong?
Someone put Sherlock here.
But at least we've reached some other conclusions in the
We are not in the real world.
That's true. So, can we think of any new ideas right? Strange? Paimon feels like everything's been strange lately.
We have never thought of living.
Leaving the city? You're right! It's really strange how we never thought of such a simple solution. Many things should become clear if we can. Paimon can't believe it! Did we miss this because we're tunnel visioning too hard on our other theories? Or because we're just too tired? How about we go back and ask Nahida? Maybe we...
Okay, let's see. And this is the answer because lies and fears, I guess.
Nahida! You're back early today. Sort of. We're mostly sure now that we're not in a time loop. And we also aren't in the real world. But at the same time, we have a new question.
Leaving the city. As far as I remember, you've mentioned your plans to do that twice before.
We did? But we don't remember anything. What happened after we talked about those plans? What did we say when we got back?
Let me think. I don't think you ever actually told me what the outcome was. Oh, it's probably more accurate to say that both times you never came back the whole night. But you two sometimes stay out the entire night anyway, so at the time, I didn't think too much about it.
It is true that sometimes we lose track of time during our investigations. Before we know it, it'll already be the next day. But still, neither of us remember anything about leaving town.
Really? That's kind of strange. In theory, I should have already awakened all your memories.
Maybe this is the key.
Something here's definitely fishy.
Okay. And
our memories are back!
Let's go.
About that...
Well, Traveler, aside from your memories that were just restored, I have another listen to it and you'll...
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zeru's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them.
Oh.
Traveler, you should be missing 2 days worth of memories.
What?
Time to carry out our plan from yesterday. Okay, let's go.
Wait, what? Okay.
Why can't we leave the city? What is the
Don't ask me. It's not like I can tell you anything. This is a direct order from the Grand Sage. Just wait until...
I have a real emergency. My goods have already arrived at Port Orb.
That's your problem. Make sure you make a request in advance next...
But it's not like you can just predict business matters in advance.
Someone is gonna have...
The Academia already announced the lockdown for Sumeru City today. How complete? Let's go and question them. Hello, sir.
Here we go again. We just received an order that no one is allowed to enter or exit Sumeru today. They didn't tell us anything else. Angering me won't get you anywhere. If I had that kind of insider info, I would have left this stupid post long ago.
Okay.
It looks like he really doesn't know. If we can't get anything out of him, let's take matters into our own hands. Why don't we... This is a good spot, and the guard hasn't noticed us at all. Let's hurry!
Paimon, stay here.
Why? Are you going to leave Paimon behind?
Leaving the city might trigger disruptions.
What if things get really weird out there and you get into some trouble? Oh, Paimon knows that Paimon can't do much, but we've always been together. Okay. Paimon will wait. Promise Paimon that you'll come back as soon as possible. Just a quick look. And
Okay.
please.
Okay. Let's see.
Memories.
Let's go and try to leave.
Paimon would never see. Paimon waited for you for hours and hours in the city wall and you never came back. You promised Paimon
What
that you
did I promise?
Calm down. He's here now. I don't think he understood what you were saying.
Paimon doesn't care. Paimon wanted to go look for you, but you also said that Paimon should stay.
Ouch. That is heartbreaking.
The entire day.
Sorry.
Okay. Paimon will forgive you. The most important thing is that you didn't actually disappear. Oh, Paimon was so scared that you had gone into another world.
Okay, Paimon, can you tell us your perspective of what really...
Okay.
I see. using two people's different perspectives.
After that, you left the city. Paimon kept her eyes on you the whole time, but then you disappeared in an instant. No way! Paimon was watching you with the fullest...
What's your perspective, Traveler? You sure you don't have any memory of this? I guess that explains everything. You also lost your memories the last 2 times you tried to leave the city. Those days' memories can't be awoken.
So, if we leave the city, our memories will be completely erased?
They didn't just restrict.
Really sounds like something big outside. But this way, we'll also never discover what's outside. Something like a message? But how can we...
Don't look at me like that. I'm not used to being stared at.
You're coming with us.
Well... Okay. You want something that can pass on messages, right? Give me some time and take care of Dunyar's...
Yep! Now we're talking!
Okay. This has become a whole story. Okay, finally she's back.
I'm done. Here you go.
What? Isn't this just an Akasha terminal?
You need some little changes. Akasha terminals are already capable of sending messages. I just tweaked it so that it could connect to any node.
To make something like this? Nahida, you really know the Akasha like the back of your hand. Anyway, we can use this now to record a message.
Yep. I'll help you save the messages. It should be pretty easy to use. I just can't guarantee the user's status and signal coverage.
We'll never know until we try. At least we're taking the initiative now.
Let's go.
Then. Let's expose the... All right. Paimon isn't as worried about being separated since it happened once yesterday. But Paimon still isn't happy about... Okay,
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Okay.
That covers everything that's happened so far.
Was what I left.
Yes. Although the signal was choppy and had some interference, we still managed to receive 2 messages from you when...
Okay, now that you understand what's going on, let's hear the messages together.
Okay.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zeru's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them. I've entered another space. Before me are flowing sandstone and howling fish. Impossible and surreal sights. All these spaces are empty except for the occasional ones that contain mute puppets rather than people. I can't sense any human presence.
That's one heck of an info dump. It sounds like you left the Sumeru city space when you set foot outside of the walls. But everything looked completely normal when Paimon was looking out from the inside. That's unbelievable.
Reminds me
And
of
if we take your word for it, the other spaces all had very weird contents.
reminds me of that Resident Evil. I forgot which one. The second last movie, in which Alice is trapped inside that underwater research facility and
There's
stuff.
another part here. We only received it last night.
These spaces have been disappearing one after the other, absorbed by something like a sun in the sky. And now, even the final space has also disappeared. Behind me, a lot of spaces just appeared again from thin air. I get it now. Those spaces are actually...
Why did the message end?
Probably because yesterday just happened to end at that moment.
Oh, right.
The message. It should have come from the trap.
After the beep, Traveler said Even the final
Traveler, what do you think that final space could have been?
My impression is that each day in this samsara only ends at the sound of that... Was that space... All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common. A lack of human presence.
Oh, so that's what it is! After the sound of the beep, the final space, the Sub-Zero's festival, also disappears! And we're taken to the next day! Later on, Traveler also mentioned a bunch of new spaces materializing behind them! Dude, Paimon's head is spinning!
Well, consider this. For all the horrors of the Archon War, at its heart, it was just a game where a bunch of gods fought over. So no matter how strange or spooky things may look on the surface, maybe all they point to in the end is a small and simple...
Wow, the Archon War, huh? That's an analogy and a... Hey! Where are you going?
Please tell me you figured it out. This is all a simulation or something along those lines, I guess. I'm meeting, yeah, Dunya Azad. Again.
Do you want some alone time to think? Alright then, Paimon won't...
And time passes.
The dance of Sub-Zeros is about to begin. I'm going to go watch it.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead?
Okay then. See you later.
Have you figured it out yet, Traveler? Time is ticking away! Awesome! What is it? Paimon wants to know! Oh, wait, no. Let's meet up with Nahida first.
Okay, just to make a decision, he went to a weirdly quiet place. Okay. Finally.
You're back! I've been waiting forever for you two. Judging by the... Are you ready to take your Sub-Zero's exam and graduate from the festival? Okay. First up...
Okay.
All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common. Those spaces remind me of... dreams. Like the one I had in the Avidia Forest. Except these have no... The moon... People in Sumeru don't dream. We are all in a dream. It isn't that the people of Sumeru don't dream. Rather, the Akasha is taking their dreams...
People in Sumeru think they don't dream. But the truth is, and those spaces with no human presence are stolen dreams without their host. That would explain why they... Huh. So people in Sumeru do dream after all. In fact, we're all in one...
Correct answer. Now, how did you conclude that the Akasha is capable of this? It compiles the wisdom, and it grants knowledge to the... It is the manifestation. The Akasha relies on the power...
That doesn't sound right.
Oh, okay. Those dream-controlling creatures in the forest also get their power from the Dendro Archon, right? That would explain why the Akasha has the ability to control people's dreams too.
Okay, this is all a big conspiracy theory, but okay, it works out.
But is stealing everyone's dreams really how the Akasha compiles their wisdom? Isn't there anything more to it than...
Dreams are fantastical, complex, and full of imagination. People's brains are the most active when they're dreaming. In other words, dreams are rich bundles of human wit.
So in other words, the complete opposite of how Hypatia understood it.
Oh.
I remembered her saying that the sages think dreams are foolish delusions, and the fact that no one dreams is a blessing from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. The real story is that the sages from the academia are using the Akasha to steal people's dreams for their own use, huh?
Oh? By the sounds of it, you understand the current situation pretty well. So then, what about the
My mind feels We've already experienced... The Grand Sage said... Those spaces kept disappearing before my eyes. But as soon as that beep sounded, those dreamscapes kept vanishing. But as soon as that beep sounded...
Associated with... abnormal. Akasha sound? Nope. Mass production of trees?
Correct. The Akasha is keeping each person's brain in a constant dream state, but also separating their consciousness from their own dream.
Okay.
Their disembodied consciousness is placed inside the collective dream of the Sub-Zero's festival along with everyone else's, while their now vacant dreams are harvested by the Akasha. No one is any the wiser as another day passes in the dream. And so begins another samsara. People wake up to yet another dream about the Sub-Zero's festival. The dreams that belong to them are once again harvested by the Akasha.
So, this is like a dream factory, and the Akasha is a dream harvesting machine. Did Paimon get that analogy right?
Very good, Paimon. Using analogies well is an excellent habit to get into.
That's true.
Okay. So that beep we keep hearing is actually from our real-life Akasha terminals. Taking off our terminals in this dream doesn't do anything.
Yep, it doesn't.
Right, last question. Who am I?
Okay.
They say that alchemical divination is the Now that I think about it, wasn't illusions a hint that we're all dreaming? Now that I think about it, wasn't illusions hinting at the sage's
So you noticed.
You are Lesser Lord Kusanali.
That would be the hardest question.
No, that was easy.
Last.
That wasn't hard at all. Even Paimon guessed that. Everything about you is different. We just didn't want to expose you. Now that you mention it, Nahida, you've been hinting to us since the... It's funny. Thinking back to when we were asking all over the place for info about Lesser Lord Kusanali. Paimon didn't expect to meet you like this.
A lot of questions, but not time.
Can wait until we're back in real life. On the other hand, I'd be happy to answer any more questions you have about...
Why couldn't you...
You asked me this question before. My answer was, now that you know this is all a dream, this answer should... Have you heard the saying, don't wake a sleepwalker? Likewise, if someone suddenly had told you all this, your notion of reality and dream would be thrown into irreversible confusion. I couldn't expose you, that's why I could only give you very subtle hints and some suggestions.
Inception, essentially.
Firstly, this dream we're in is completely based on reality. People have already experienced this Sub-Zero's festival.
Oh.
Secondly, you're probably wondering why people don't have any memories from Earth. That's because people don't remember their dreams most of the time anyway.
Not
And in any
necessary.
case, their actual dreams are being taken away from them, but so whenever they wake up in this dream of the Sabzeruz festival, they don't remember anything.
That reminds Paimon. Traveler had a dream when we were in the Avidia forest, but couldn't see what it was about after waking up. Is that an example of what you mean?
Yes. Only after receiving the blessing of Dendro can a person gain the Dendro element's dream-enhancing power. That explains the feelings of deja. Meanwhile,
Oh.
everyone else has no idea that they are in the Sabzeruz festival Samsara, while their dreams are stolen from the...
Okay. Let's see what else. Side effects.
Humans really keep dreaming forever like this?
Well, we might say your mental fatigue has already answered this question. Eventually, there's only so much that people can tolerate, especially those whose health is compromised to begin with.
Oh, makes
Like
sense.
Dunyarzad. This relentless exploitation takes an even harder toll on them.
People's lives are at stake here, and nobody knows a thing. We've got to put a stop to this.
Why dream
I
about
know,
this?
right? Why did they have to base this dream on my birthday? Could it really just be a coincidence?
Even you don't know the reason?
Wow, the Academia sages are determined to harvest lots of dreams in a short time, no matter the cost. They have to be up to no good. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Traveler, do you have any info?
Let's see. Luckily I didn't go away.
The Grand Sage said, ghosts. Okay, Nahida said the those spaces remind me of dreams. That doesn't sound right.
Celebrate the birth of that, could it mean?
Yep.
Deceiving the people of Sumeru with no regard for their safety. After we end the Sabzeruz festival Samsara, we have to look at...
How can the sages of the Academia do this behind their Archon's back?
In the end, I'm just the moon. The real sun is long gone.
A sun and a moon? Oh, we're out of time?
I'll tell you how to break free of the Samsara tomorrow.
Okay, finally. Finally we are getting somewhere.
Good morning, Nahida. Wait. Now that Paimon remembers everything, should we instead say good morning, Lesser Lord Kusanal? Hey, what's wrong, Nahida? You don't look too good.
I'm afraid that what you're thinking right now is correct.
What?
Did Dunyarzad already disappear?
The real Dunyarzad's consciousness has indeed disappeared. It can no longer endure the constant dream harvesting.
Uh-oh.
Paimon can't believe it. Wait, so what about that other Dunyarzad? Just what is she?
She's actually something like a puppet, but not completely. The real Dunyarzad's consciousness could no longer keep playing her role in this dream, so another Dunyarzad appeared to replace her in the dream. Just like the grass and the trees, that Dunyarzad is just a building block of the dream that helps.
But personality-wise, she's nothing like the real...
Puppets are stiff, and can't copy a living person's vitality. After all, you know, speaking of which, the old Dunyarzad might not have been too different.
Dunyarzad truly believed that she met you within her consciousness, and it was you who inspired her. So you do remember her?
Yes.
Yeah.
Back then, her family was overly protective of her. No one cared about her personality.
Nahida, we are having a tight timeline. Can we leave?
Her Elazar.
Okay.
I just gave her a little wisdom so she could look at life in a new way. So that she could be her own person. But even so, she's still...
You're a kind...
Far from it. I'm still a long way off from being a real Archon.
That's all it takes.
I couldn't even save her. If I were a competent Archon, I wouldn't have let my most faithful follower die at the Sabzeruz.
Please don't beat yourself up over it, Nahida. It's the sage's fault, and
I'm not beating myself up. All I did was to rationally observe the distance between myself and...
Don't be like that, Nahida. Even real Archons are still allowed to be sad.
We know a lot of sad Archons.
To prevent more tragedies like this, we must end this.
Great!
Okay.
How do we do that?
Go to the sun.
Although the Sub-Zero's festival dream is under the Akasha's control, only humans can dream. Even the Akasha is unable to create. That means this dream belongs to a host who creates.
Huh? So, how should we find that
Well, if this is someone's dream, then everything here must come from deep within their consciousness.
Okay.
Which means, with the power of imagination, they can change anything in this dream.
Dea?
Imagination?
Imagination means breaking through what you like when a server at a tavern brings a plate to you. You naturally However, if you're the dream's host and you become aware that you're dreaming, when you imagine gold and more on the plate, the dream will respond in kind. And the server really will bring you gold but right now, our host is unaware that this is a dream. No matter how many times they're served, it will always be find some way to make that person realize that they're dreaming. Usually, once that happens, the person will wake up and the dream samsara will be broken.
How are we going to find them, though? If it could be anyone, it'd be like looking for a needle in a hay. And even if we did find them, how are we supposed to make them realize they're... After all, like you said, don't we...
It's extremely difficult, yes. But the only ones who can do it are you two.
Why?
Remember, everything you've achieved up to this point has all been for the sake of finding the host and ending the samsara.
Okay. Couldn't you have told us this earlier? Like, we have wasted a lot of time. Dunyazad is gone. I don't know what else is gonna happen.
As for me, during this
Out of town? Are you going to that place full of dreams where the
Yes. I want to try something. There must still be a small wisp of possibility. Hurry and go. Dreams are supposed to be fantastical, romantic, and full of pleasant surprises. Unnecessary things like this samsara.
Hyman's still a little upset that we've come this far, only for she was such a good person, with such a simple wish. But fate was against her.
Okay, let's focus on the mission first.
Saving Dunyarzad is what kept us going this whole time. But we mustn't lose hope, Traveler. Dunyarzad, Hyman's wondering, do you think the sages would get one of their own to be the host of this dream? Feels like it would be easier to control it that way, no?
Unlikely, they don't believe in dreams.
Huh. That's true. Plus, the sages probably weren't counting on there being other factors beyond. So, who do you think the host of the dream is?
Ferris... I don't think so. The one with the strange cat. Okay, I think I have only this guy.
That would make sense. Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, is a symbol of the whole Sub-Zero's festival. Let's go ask him some questions, shall we?
I doubt he's the one, but it doesn't hurt. I mean, because we have already shown him a proof of reputation. So his candies should be in different boxes, maybe? Because I don't know, maybe. Oh. Let's see.
You're back. You left in a hurry last time. Is it?
Everything's fine. Just, it's a little hard to explain. Would you mind taking part in a little experiment with us?
An experiment? That came out of nowhere. I'm listening, though. What do you need me to do?
Okay.
Make a wish?
Imagine.
You want me to make a wish? Is that a new Sub-Zero's festival tradition?
Less questions, more wishing!
Uh-oh.
Okay. My wish. Okay. I'm a little nervous saying this out loud, but I want Miss Dunyarzad.
Oh.
Can you wish something materialistic, please?
I noticed earlier that she looked a bit down, and she just doesn't seem like herself. I've also wondered if the reason she asked me to be fairest Knight of Flowers is because I'm
Oh ho
special
ho
to
ho
her, or
ho.
something.
So, you have a crush on Dunya?
Oh, is it that obvious? After what I just said, I guess it is.
Okay.
When she placed the hat of the Knight of Flowers onto my head, she said to me, I want everyone to have a happy Sub-Zeru's festival. What she didn't realize was that I'm not that interested in how everyone else feels. In that moment, I just wanted to be her Knight of Flowers for the rest of my life. 50 years? 100 years? I'll serve her till the end of Okay, yeah, that was a bit much. Felt like the right moment to get it off my chest, but that was... Okay, I'm ready to make my wish. I would like Miss Dunyarzad to appear in front of me right now with a smile on her face. Here goes.
Please come true.
Please.
I'm gonna open my eyes. Oh, you're...
What?
Uh-oh.
Fucky? Sorry, but only one portion of Yelda candies per person. Back home you go. Nice
Okay.
try, you two. Anyway, never mind. I don't need to see her appear right in front of me. As long as she's happy.
Guess he isn't the host of this dream after all. Should have expected it wouldn't be this easy.
Who else could be the person? Dea? Maybe.
It seems like everyone who knows Dunyarzad loves her. But none of them has any idea that she...
My lady, step back.
That sounds like Dia! Oh, right. This is when Dunyarzad bumps into the kidnappers.
So there.
Huh? But Dia can handle them. Hey, Traveler!
I am frustrated by Mon. Let me just have a moment.
Oh, it's you. Great timing. Please take...
Take Dunyarzad and
this
leave.
is my job. The homie Yannis pay me, not you.
You're wasting your breath.
Fine, alright. Knock yourself out. Why are you so worked up anyway? It's not like I don't trust your fight. Anyway, watch yourself.
Seriously? Do you even know who you're talking to? Now you guys.
So you got yourself some backup. Suit yourself. You're going down.
So many
Animal test 6308. Right here, right now. Emerge.
repetitions, not a single gameplay of combat or anything. Come on, guys. There's enough for everyone.
Right now. Traveler, were you just taking your anger out on those guys?
I'm just angry at myself.
You and Nahida both. Dunyarzad wouldn't want to see you two like this.
Wait, Dunyarzad wants everyone to be happy.
And speaking, remember how during the first Sub-Zero's festival, before the Samsara started, we came here with Dunyarzad because she wanted to pick something up? She said it was because she had forgotten something.
Yes.
Okay, so Paimon's memory is working so far. Anyway, Paimon also remembers that she is staying somewhere around here. She pointed it out to us the night before the Sub-Zero's festival.
Let's check out the item.
Even if it's only a tiny clue, it'll probably still help us more than this needle in a haystack. This is the place. It's rude to enter other people's spaces without permission, but desperate times call for... Hey, the windows are unlocked. Okay, Paimon's gonna take a peek inside. This was only a temporary residence, so there was pretty much nothing inside except this book on the table. Should we open it?
Sure. 16 days I've finally been able to get those Uh, you and Paimon will probably continue your journey onwards. Talking with so many people, gonna village. Ouch.
Wow. Dunyarzad wrote all of this. Sounds like she was always thinking of us, even though she was also busy preparing for the Sub-Zero's festival and had all her health problems to worry about.
This is getting emotional. Please.
She must have wanted to give this to us as a gift on the day of the Sub-Zero's festival, right?
Okay,
If
let's
we hadn't found
focus.
this book, we never would have known. But now that we know, we can't even thank her.
20 years up.
Hey! Where are you off?
Let's meet her clone. Let's let out some frustration. Ah, such a good scenery, but such a sad story. Why?
It's Dunyarzad's puppet.
I guess I'll feel better if I say it out loud. Thank you.
Traveler? You must be exhausted. Come to think of it, we've been stuck in this place for a really, really long time. Heck, even the last time we were chatting happily with Dunyarzad feels like an eternity ago.
Oh,
Paimon still remembers when we were sitting here, and the way her eyes sparkled when she talked about Nilu's Dance of Sub-Zeros.
I can barely recall
There
it
will
now.
always be frustrations in life, but I know that the point of living is not to leave behind any regret.
Oh,
That was what the real Dunyarzad said, wasn't it? Does that mean...
Dunyarzad?
Yes, Traveler. What is it?
Oh, so she's still just a puppet. But just now, how come...
Not leave behind any
This
regrets.
time?
To watch the dance of Sub-Zero. Why do you watch a dream again and again? Because it is still incomplete. So let's complete it. It was such a simple thing. Just kill that Grand Sage. I knew we should have done that way earlier.
If you continue to resist, we will have to order an investigation into every single event organizer. The Grand Sage has already granted you much.
Okay, time to put some literate academic knowledge into their heads.
Traveler?
You don't have to get involved. He's a sage from the academia. I don't want to drag you.
Traveler?
Traveler? What the heck are you doing? If you get arrested by the academia, that's an...
Yep,
Wait, they're not reacting. Have they been scared stiff?
they are just
Oh,
puppets.
of course! If this is the sage's plan, they wouldn't put themselves through the... So they're just substitutes.
What is this? What happened to the Grand Sage and his entourage?
What's up with those flowers?
Like I said, they symbolize the goddess
Wait,
of flowers.
Nilu is the one who's streaming?
It's just a shame that all the real Padisaras went extinct after her death.
Yes. The Greater Lord brought forth new Padisaras in memory of the goddess of flowers.
Ah, that beautiful shade of purple. Aren't these flowers real Padisaras? Just like the ones from the legend? I didn't even notice. Tanyarzad, did you find these?
But didn't you just say all the real flowers went extinct after the goddess of flowers passed away? So, how?
Yeah. What's going on here?
Nilu, close your eyes.
Uh-huh.
Imagine Great Sage are not here in front of you.
You guys are acting weird.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey!
And they're gone.
They disappeared! So Nilu's the host. Purple Padisaras don't exist in the real world anymore. But in Nilu's subconscious, they can appear as decorations on the stage.
Yep.
It's just like the example Nahida told us. People assumed there will be food on a plate, and Nilu assumed there would be real... So when you saw the flowers, you instantly knew it was Nilu? But if
Correct.
we want to end the samsara, we need the host to become aware that they're dreaming. How should we make Nilu realize that?
You already gave her 2 impossible proofs.
Am I dreaming?
Yeah.
Huh?
How did you come to the conclusion?
So I'm right. Is this Lesser Lord Kusanali responding to our celebration of the Sub-Zero?
Wrong guess, but you aren't completely wrong either. The point is, what made you think this is a... As far as you know, people in Sumeru don't...
Yeah, but have you heard the tale of the first sage? To prevent a calamity, he went on a journey to find the Dendro Archon.
Okay.
Ooh, sounds familiar. Dunyarzad told us a story like that when we first arrived in Sumeru City. So, it was about the first sage.
Yep, but in the part you heard, he hadn't become the first sage yet. There's more to this. His piety and wisdom were acknowledged by the Dendro Archon.
Okay.
And she finally gave her blessing to him.
Okay.
All kinds of spectacular scenes appeared in front of the first sage. As if all the knowledge in the world was being painted onto a canvas right before him. He was captivated.
So he dreamt for the first time. Lol.
After who knows how long, he mastered all the knowledge he could comprehend. Afterward, he said to the Dendro Archon, I miss my parents, my wife, and my children. I've been away from home for far too long. They must be... The Dendro Archon smiled. The next second, the sage found himself lying in his bed, as if he had just woken up from... His wife, lying next to him, said, You're off to search for the Dendro Archon today, aren't you?
Oh.
Have a safe journey, my love. In the end, the first sage took care of many disasters in Sumeru City and founded the academia.
So, the first sage was dreaming ever since the beginning of the story? He never went on his journey?
Okay. We're gonna have a happy ending.
Yes. But his faith and determination were conveyed to the Dendro Archon, so she blessed him in the form of a dream.
Paimon understands where you're coming from now. That's a really
I see. Well, it just so happens that today's Sub-Zero's festival is almost...
And she is gonna dance.
Since we're in a dream, let's make this final dance of Sub-Zero's as beautiful as we can.
I wish Dunyarzad. I wish Dunyarzad was here. Oh, that's cool.
The wait is over, everyone. I dedicate this to our god, the dance of Sub-Zerus.
I'm digging into these animations more rather than a dance. I wish Dunya
I'd be
Sad
lying if I said I had no regrets.
could watch
I would have
this.
loved to see Nilou's dance.
Wait. Ah. A bittersweet ending. Maybe. I don't know what to feel.
Good morning, traveler. Oh, Paimon feels like she's been asleep for the long. Paimon's head feels super heavy. Did we oversleep? Do you even... Paimon thinks it was the Sub-Zero's festival. Have we finally escaped from the Sub-Zero Samsara?
I remember now.
Take up your Akasha terminal.
At the end, I think I saw. Quick, let's go to Dunya Sad. Please, please let her be fine. Please.
She's not in her room. What happened?
Let's go to the usual meeting place.
Huh? What?
Please let her be alive. Please let her be alive. And
Well done, traveler and Paimon.
wait, Nahita?
And thank you, Dunyarzad, for organizing the Sub-Zero's festival for me.
I'm sorry, who are...
Dunyarzad! You're okay! Oh, don't scare us like that!
Oh, Traveler Paimon. I have something amazing to tell you.
Yeah, we have something amazing to tell you.
I just had a dream. And I saw Nilou performing the dance of
Filling her in on everything is gonna be so difficult. I don't understand half of it. Can we talk to Dunya sir? We can't.
You're actually Nahida, aren't you? Paimon felt like Catherine was acting weird when we met at the Sub-Zero's festival. And... Dunyarzad, did you save her?
It's a really long story. We shouldn't disturb her. Her consciousness is still weakened.
Okay. I'm so happy right now actually. Dunya Sad is alive. We are out of the dream. And the dance. Not exactly dance, but the animation was awesome.
Let's chat somewhere else. How about by the traveler's favorite bench?
Can we go anywhere other than that? Seriously. Okay, before going, let's talk to Dunya Sad.
What's going on? Why are you two so excited to see me?
Dunya Sad,
Hasn't
just
it
let
only
us
been a
enjoy
night?
this moment.
It's actually been much longer than that.
Years in the dream.
Oh? strange. Was I really asleep that long? No wonder I have such a headache.
Okay, now let's deal with Nahida. And
Let's talk about Dinyarzad first. It's such a relief that she's all right.
I would like to know what happened to Catherine first of all.
After we parted on the last day of the Sumeru's festival, I left the city and saw what the traveler had described. Among the countless dreams, I found one that was growing fainter and fainter. This proved my suspicion. Once Dinyarzad could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams, her consciousness began to dissipate. But this also meant it escaped the Akasha's control.
Oh.
Such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long, though. It will return to its original dream, where both will gradually fade until they completely disappear. I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible. But it still wouldn't have lasted for much longer if it hadn't been for you two breaking the samsara.
Okay.
So it looks like we did manage to save Dinyarzad in the end. Not a moment too soon.
A very happy ending.
Why are you two smiling so happily? I thought you'd be so moved that you'd start crying. I need to spend more time observing human emotions.
Yup, you do.
Both are fine. Everyone reacts differently.
All right. You two must have a lot of other questions for me, right?
About what I saw.
In the forest, there was this incense that made the traveler fall unconscious and dream of a huge tree and...
You also heard someone's voice, right? It said world and forget me.
Yes.
So you do know! We've been wanting to ask you what that was about, and if the red sky was related to Conria.
It seems like the traveler established a connection to Irminsul. That was a message left by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul. Perhaps her last memory before she died.
Okay.
As you two probably know, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared after the disaster in Conria. The timings of these events do line up, so your suspicions are reasonable.
A message from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata? We thought it was from the Scarlet King.
The Scarlet King? That god who died even longer ago? Some present-day desert dwellers still worship him. You probably just heard some of their conspiracies.
Yeah, actually.
Okay, so what does the message mean?
I still haven't managed to decipher it. Even the Akasha isn't currently capable of doing that.
Okay.
Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul seems to be contaminated with something that has a very dangerous aura to it. Many devoted scholars go mad as soon as they connect their consciousness. I've warned the academia about this many times, but people still keep falling victim to it. But I believe this is the key to saving Irminsul. That's why I've kept trying to decipher it.
So the tree in the vision was Irminsul? Oh, Tainari also said that Irminsul is sick. Is it because of the contaminated consciousness? But even if you can't figure out what that vision was all about, it seems like our search for you was all in vain.
The traveler wasn't affected after coming in contact with that consciousness. I've never seen anyone like that. With you here, we may have a chance at deciphering it.
Okay.
No, we must decipher its secrets.
Let's do that
I've already
later.
eliminated all other factors that might affect Irminsul. This is the only one left. This puzzle has life and death at stake. It could determine Irminsul's fate, as well as Tevat's.
Okay, why do you look like Catherine?
Accurate, I'm using the Akasha as a medium to occupy Catherine's consciousness.
Wait, did you just body snap? Body napped Catherine? That's so uncool.
How did you do that? Poor Catherine. Does this mean you can also also occupy other people's consciousness? Theoretically, I can enter anyone's mind as long as they're wearing their Akasha terminal.
Take a Akasha terminal node, break it into two, throw it into the bottom of the ocean.
The Akasha is the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. As Lesser Lord Kusanali and the first Akasha terminal, my consciousness has always been linked to the Akasha.
Okay.
I've always respected my people's free will, so I've never actually occupied their consciousness. When necessary, I just borrow this bionic Snezhnayan puppet.
Wait, what?
Oh, hold on. Did we just learn some deep, dark secret? So Catherine is... No wonder Paimon felt something was off about her. What about your own body? Why do you need to borrow other people's? Don't you live in the sanctuary of Surasthana?
That story begins a long time ago. After Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared, the sages found my newly born self and took me back to Sumeru. At that time, I was young and weak. The sages kept me in the sanctuary of Surasthana, ostensibly for the sake of protecting me.
Protecting, okay.
I've heard from them since. However, I do understand that they had hoped to find Greater Lord Rukkhadevata instead of me.
So, the sages basically put their new Archon under house arrest? How dare they! Why don't you teach them a lesson, Nahida?
In some ways, they aren't wrong. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was omniscient and omnipotent. Even after her death,
have some self-confidence,
empowering this nation.
Nahida.
And I'm still really far away from being able to call myself the God of Wisdom. Moreover, the Academia is also more proficient at governing this country. My existence has little meaning.
You are trying, that's all that counts.
Yeah, you got a lot of believers. Just look at the Sub-Zero's festival. Everyone who showed up truly loves you.
Thank you for the kind words.
I'll be honest.
I don't need physical freedom as long as I can connect my consciousness to the Akasha.
I mean, listening to Nahida's voice through Catherine is a bit disorientating, for me at least.
Trying to find a way to save Irminsul is my life's mission and top priority. I will work on that, and try to live up to being a deity in the meantime.
Sure.
Every once in a while, I will also take up the duties of the God of Wisdom and enlighten a lost soul here and there. Doing all that should be enough. There's never been any big problems with the Academia's governance of Sumeru. This is the first time I've seen them step out of line.
Okay.
I wonder what caused them to go down this path, and what they hope to achieve. Even though the city's residents haven't noticed anything strange, if the Traveler hadn't broken the Sub-Zero's samsara, the situation could have become dark. I tried to do some investigating in the Akasha, but I couldn't find anything suspicious. And all the people of interest seem to purposely avoid wearing their Akasha terminals.
Okay.
I think they're deliberately trying to hide some...
Oh, that reminds Paimon. In Gandharvaville, there was a sage who had invited Tainari to join some kind of project. Could it be related?
Regardless, I need to first investigate the sage's motives, make things right, and punish them if needed.
Okay, now we know the future
I
actions.
have to be discreet, or they'll see me coming.
So no one realized.
You mean how the Akasha stops you from having dreams?
Yeah, it's been such a long time. No one's noticed something.
It's not that no one noticed. It's more like no one cared.
Oh.
Ultimately, it's all rooted in the sage's misdirection. The sages convinced everyone to believe that being unable to dream is a sign of rationality and wisdom.
Okay.
Not dreaming is a badge of honor in some, even if the truth is that their dreams are being reaped by the Akasha. With their propaganda in place, the sages can maximize their use of the Akasha to facilitate their reap. Besides, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata must have created the Akasha in the hopes that it could be used to its full potential. That's why I've never come out strongly against this. Anyway, the perspective advocated by the sages drowned out any voices of doubt. By now, even those who never use Akasha terminals find it too shameful and embarrassing to talk about their dreams.
Okay. I don't have any other questions.
I hope my answers were satisfactory, seekers of knowledge. To be honest, maintaining Dunyarzad's fading dream took a lot of mental energy. I think I may need to rest. Oh, and you don't need to worry too much about the Sage's activities for now. The Akasha won't be able to conduct another project on the scale of the Sub-Zero Samsara in the immediate future.
Go and get some sleep. Leave everything to us.
What a relief. This is truly the most exhausting birthday I've ever had.
Traveler? Paimon? Why am I here? Do either of you know?
No.
Maybe you were sleepwalking. You know you can't wake up a sleepwalker. We happened to walk by, so we thought we'd wait for you to...
I see.
Okay. Wake, walk,
I should
wake.
visit my maintenance personnel sometime.
Maintenance
I'm
personnel?
fine. I better go. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I think there was something related to her being a robot or something.
We spent quite some time in Sumeru City, but ever since we last said goodbye to Lesser Lord Kusanali, we haven't heard anything from her.
Okay, so... Okay, I think from here on out,
Can't just keep waiting.
I'll be starting with the next part of it. And that also reminds me, I need to get that story quest. Yep. Okay, for this guy I'll have to complete this part. Okay. So, after all of this... Actually, you know what? This is a cool place. Let's have a wish here only. So, the thing is, just before coming online, I did some spiral of bills, and then I realized, like, more like I forgot that I could buy wishes from here. I hope I didn't mess up.
Oh.
Okay, so finally 110x full. Okay, so I'll be honest, I tried Nilu. She wasn't that good, honestly. Rather, let me make a rational choice. Character preview. So her talents are okay, normal attack. Everything based on max HP. Link after an interval, opponents affected by lingering ion will take hydro damage. Okay. I mean, I don't think so it is worth it. Whereas if we go for Beidou, let's see, do I get anything that is worth trying to get this guy? So you guys tell me, which one should I wish for? Nilu or Albedo? You can write it in the comments, honestly. In the chat. So this guy is Albedo and this is Nilu. Okay, Avtara. Avtara says Nilu. Anyone else wants to put forward their views or any kind of vote or anything? And I can just wait for 10 more seconds. Assuming you guys type slowly in the chat. Yeah, this is actually good. Okay, I guess Nilo it is. Let's see. Finally a 5-star. Okay. Okay, didn't get Nilu. Yeah. Okay, at least I got Jean. I have already had Jean, so let me see which characters did I just get to upgrade. First of all, Traveler. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Then let's see. Beidou. Oh, okay. Max damage Beidou. Beidou C6. Full. Finally. Okay, so the first one was increases pulling speed of kill after holding and increases the damage dealt by 40%. When Jean picks up elemental orbs or particle, all party members have their movement speed increase. Movement speed and attack speed increase by 15% for 15 seconds. Are you kidding me? Okay, this is weird. Okay, I'll be honest, I didn't get Nilu, but this is not a loss or anything. And yeah, looks like this is everything. Let me just check up on one thing though. Wait, what's... Is it really a riddle? Okay. Oh. Okay, let me just see where I can... Yeah. Come on, tell me I can get the reputation. Quests and everything. Yes. Finally. Okay, need to get to reputation 2 in order to unlock all of this. Well, that's gonna take a bit longer than I thought it would. And exploration is still pretty low. Okay, it's gonna take me some time. Okay, good to know. At least I can start with this soon. Okay. Wait, does this count as well? Nope. So many 20 reward. Okay, I need exactly 250. So I need to complete these two and some other at minimum. Okay. So yeah, that practically covers all I wanted to do today. Actually, it is pretty fulfilling because let's be honest, I didn't expect to get 15 back. Exactly 12 of these tokens, so I can get 3 more wishes of either kind. So yeah, that's a plus. And practically speaking, if I just wait for like 4 more days, then I'll have 7 wishes. 7 plus 3. I can get one more try at Nilu or Albedo. And I got Gene, so I'm not sure what are my chances of getting either of those two. So yeah, that pretty much covers everything. Actually, it covers more than what I wanted to do today. So yeah, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitch, subscribe to my YouTube channel. All my previous streams are in my YouTube channel. You can go there. The link is in the about section of my Twitch channel. And yeah, like, share, subscribe, like, share, comment, and overall support the channel. So thanks for watching and